In the world of a 3-year-old girl nicknamed Cooey,
This is fun.
concepts are simple
Because I love it.
and energy is endless.
Jumping jacks.
When she's not jumping on the trampoline, she's chasing chickens
Now let me catch something.
on her small family farm near Berthoud.
You got out, buddies. You got out, guys. I'm so happy.
When it's time to stop for a snack, we can talk about how between Cooey and her older sister who's 5, Cooey is the easier one to handle,
Thank you for the milk.
according to Mom, Melissa Kepler, who says the two sisters are best friends.
We can barely get the kids to sit down for meals. They just are tearing around, and I throw food out on the porch like I'm feeding wild dogs or something.
What's amazing about Cooey isn't her energy.
I'm riding my bike in a circle.
What's amazing about this 3-year-old little girl is her heart.
I'm okay.
So this is a picture of Cooey the night of her surgery. And
She was 4 months old.
you just can't imagine what that is like to see your kid sitting like that.
Doctors told Melissa that her new daughter was born with a serious problem.
Which was essentially a plumbing defect of the heart. If you think about your heart, it's this ball of muscle, right? And it's wrapped in these blood vessels that supply blood to that heart.
But Cooey's blood vessels developed incorrectly. Instead of attaching to the aorta, bringing fresh oxygen to the heart, her vessels attached to the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood.
So her heart just wasn't getting the oxygen it needs to sustain that heart muscle.
Cooey's heart was starting to die.
Those are the kids that end up, it ends up being a SIDS baby. It ends up being dead in the bed that night. And if we hadn't discovered this, that would have been her.
She needed immediate open heart surgery at Children's Hospital.
Things looked grim at that point. I think it was our anesthesiologist who came and as part of his consent said, this is, she's got a 50-50 shot of surviving this surgery.
That was close.
Not only did Cooey survive,
I can run.
she is thriving, even though her heart still has a malfunctioning valve.
Just the fact that she survived her surgery and then she recovered and now she's growing her heart into some sort of efficient machine that powers this really wild kid. She can do anything.
Yeah.
She can do absolutely anything.
Cooey is supposed to have more surgeries. Instead, she's had none.
I have no explanation for why that is.
She's supposed to be weak.
And this year, Cooey just completely independently said, this year I'm running the Boulder.
Cooey is training for the 10K or 6.2-mile race.
Okay, let's jog.
I'm faster.
I know you're faster.
The race that her extended family runs every year on Memorial Day together.
What do you think?
Good.
Think you can keep this up for 6 more miles?
Yes.
Don't forget, she's still just 3.
No, I'm too tired.
You're gonna whine. Energy-wise, she could run 100 miles. Getting her to run in a single direction, hands off my face. That's gonna be the challenge. Think we can do the whole boulder like this?
Yes?
You think so?
Huh?
Whether she finishes the race or is carried across the finish line,
We thought we'd show Cooey to the world and show how strong her heart is, show how great she's done, how well they did at Children's Hospital, how well all the people did that got her to this point. This is really uncommon.
in the world of a 3-year-old, anything is possible. And Cooey's run is just getting started.
I think she really did wear herself out showing off for you guys.
Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
We gotta get home and bake.
Like many Thanksgivings, thousands of people arrive at DIA looking for loved ones.
I think he'll come from over there.
But for the Robertsons, they're looking for family they never met.
Who's gonna hug him first?
Debbie Robertson says this day is 37 years in the making.
It's really getting intense.
Her husband, Tom Robertson, served in the Navy in the Philippines in the 1980s and did not know that in addition to all his family now,
Very excited.
he left behind a son.
I'm glad I'm going to have all my family here.
A discovery they made when their son Mike submitted a DNA test.
If you hadn't done that, we wouldn't have found him.
His name is Casper, as indicated by all their t-shirts.
We just wanted some way to I don't know, to greet him, so he knew who we were.
As the wait grows longer, Tom gets nervous.
He loves you.
As time goes on,
He's on the train.
Debbie reflects about how this impacts her and Tom.
I don't know, I'm just so excited. He was worried about how I would feel toward him, and I couldn't be more accepting. He's like one of my own.
As Casper gets closer, Debbie and Tom feel like new parents again.
It's like the anticipation without the pain.
Anticipation for the moment to arrive.
There he is.
Flying in from Nashville, Casper has his ghosts no more. The 37-year-old man finally meets his father.
To feel the love that I was feeling for him just coming right back was absolutely amazing. Hi, everybody.
He finally meets the rest of his life on a day that's not like any Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving seemed like the best time because that's the time for family, and to have such a loving, warm family that'll bring me right in, like, yeah, best Thanksgiving ever.
With photojournalist Brian Wendland, Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
Can I tell you how weird it is? I have flashbacks and I'm like 14 again, or I'm 17 again, and I'm walking with my friends and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
From the halls of her past,
This area hasn't changed that much. The gym has not changed in 30 years.
Rhiannon Wenning remembers her days as a student at Jefferson High School.
So here's my trophy from my senior year when we won Edgewater Days.
Students today have a very different experience.
You can't be a successful student if your belly's empty. And so, or if you're worried about where you're going to sleep at night, or you're worried about your family and if they're going to be deported.
Most of the kids here come from poor families. Most are Hispanic. A different makeup from when Rhiannon went here.
What does Jefferson need in order for it to be the school that you guys would love to have?
Jefferson now receives help under a new community school model, where students also receive support services, all coordinated by Rhiannon.
This is our fishbone diagram of looking at one of our problems, which is why students are chronically absent or tardy to school.
She tries to find solutions to problems,
Family doesn't have a car.
no matter the reason.
But we see that attendance has a direct correlation to how well they're doing in school, if they're understanding content, if they're able to keep up on their grades.
Oftentimes, the answer is the simplest one,
All right, so I got a box of food for you.
like providing meals
All right, same stuff in here as always, I believe.
and basic necessities.
There you go, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good day. Thank you. If you have a jar and you put rocks in it and then you put sand in it, there's still holes in it, and that's what kind of community schools fills in.
She meets with parents to take on issues together
Housing around here is ridiculous now. It's starting to get super, super expensive.
to make sure students are in school.
My ultimate goal is to see them walk across the stage at graduation.
From the halls of her past to the halls of the Capitol.
I'm here today to present to you Senate Bill 102.
Rhiannon isn't just fighting for Jefferson.
Yay!
She's talking to legislators to push a statewide community school program.
What is it that we're fixing with this? I mean, what's broken in the process that we have?
And it's frustrating when you're testifying, you've said it 15 different ways and still it's in one ear and out the other. But then you just remember, like, they're like your students, and you just have to learn a different way to get the information across.
Would you feasibly be able to save district money, or would it just be supplemental?
If we had this federal money, would be able to then supply other funding or be able to shift funding for other options or other things at the local level.
Rhiannon's hope
Do me a favor, can you sign in for me?
is becoming the school's reality. She says the numbers show that giving students a little help as a whole is working.
And because they're getting this social emotional supports, their grades are better, their attendance is better. That's when I know I'm making a difference.
A difference from the past into the present,
And spreading like cheer and goodness and positivity in our school.
to what she hopes is a better future.
This community is my community. I come from this community and I received so much growing up here, and that I've made it my mission in life that to give back everything that I received when I was here.